Welcome back to biochemistry class, and now we will discuss about genetic code. Have you ever heard binary code for computers? A Morse code that our military usually use. Here in protein synthesis, we will use the genetic code and we will learn how a certain codon corresponds to an amino acid. In an mRNA, the instructions for building a polypeptide come in groups of three nucleotides called codons. Here are some key features of codons to keep in the mind as we move forward. So, accordingly, there are 61 different codons for amino acids. Three of them are stop codons, which mark the polypeptide as finished. And there is also a one codon, the AUG, where it is a start codon, signal to kick off translation or to begin the translation. And also it specifies the amino acid methionine. So this relationship between the mRNA codons and amino acids are known as the genetic code. Codons and mRNA are read during translation, beginning with start codon or the AUG and continuing until a stop codon is reached. So nag-i-stop lang siya kapag na-reach na yung tatlong, kung alin man dun sa tatlong stop codon yung na-reach. So dun lang mag-stop yung chain. mRNA codons are read from 5 to 3 direction, and they specify the order of amino acids in a protein from N terminus from methionine to the C terminus or the sequence of polypeptide chains. So AUG is the one that codes for methionine, and it has been always a start codon until it reaches the three-step codon. We call it a polypeptide chain, and we will know about it more about it later. So every codon corresponds to certain amino acids. So it is very evident na lahat ng codons ay nagko-correspond sa amino acids. So, here in the figure, you can see the genetic code table. It is the full set of relationships between codons and amino acids or stop signals. So it is called the genetic code. The genetic code is often summarized in tables. So we all know that the codons is composed of three nucleotides. So that's why we have here the first letter, second letter, and third letter. And that when we combine those three letters, so we will produce a codons, and that codons correspond to a certain amino acid. So we have here a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Almost 21 amino acids. So just for example, here is the AUA. So let's find the first letter A, second letter U, and the third letter is A. So AUA, we can find that it codes for isoleucine. So here's a more detailed and specific genetic code table. So we can see here the complete name of the amino acids like phenylalanine, leucine, isoleucine, valine, serine, and other. So we have here an example. So we have an example DNA sequence template strand that is into 3 to 5 directions. So it is TACGAATCAGCTGTA. So of course the complementary DNA sequence, so that T complement the letter A and the A complement the letter C complement the letter G, and G complement the C. So kukunin lang natin yung complementary bases niya. Here naman sa mRNA sequence, it is parang the same lang siya sa complementary DNA sequence, except that we will change the thymine into a uracil. Kasi sa RNA, hindi involved na dyan yung thymine. So, it is replaced by uracil. So, magiging AUG, CUU. Lahat ng T is mapapalitan ng letter U or the uracil. So, to find the codon sequence, so i-divide mo lang siya or i-group mo lang siya into 3. So, makukuha na natin yung codon sequence. And let's try to answer or to find what certain amino acid corresponds to this codon sequence. So, first is the AUG. So, we all know that AUG corresponds to methionine, which serve also a starting codon. Next is CUU. So, where is the letter C? C, U, and another U. So, CUU corresponds to an amino acid leucine. Next is AGU. AGU. So, it corresponds to the amino acid serine. CGA. CGA codes for arginine, and CAU codes for histidine. So let's check if our answers is correct. So methionine, leucine, serine, arginine, and histidine. So tama yung naging sagot natin. So madali lang naman na i-translate yung codon sequence or the mRNA sequence into an amino acid with the guide of genetic code table. So, magiging madali na lang yun. Pero mas maganda kung ma-familiarize natin yung genetic code table. Kasi almost 21 lang naman yung amino acids na involved dyan. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na reading frame. To reliably get from an mRNA to a protein, so para maging reliable yung pag-translate from mRNA to protein, we need one more concept, and that is the reading frame. Reading frame determines how the mRNA sequence is divided up into codons during translation. So, yun na nga, di ba, na-observe natin na dapat tama yung pagkakahati-hati nung mRNA sequence into codons, kasi kahit simpleng pagkakaiba, magiging iba yung makukode nitong amino acids. That's a pretty abstract concept, so let's look at an example to understand it better. So the mRNA below can encode 3 totally different proteins depending on the frame which is read. So we could have 3 different results depending sa magiging start or pagiging paggrupo-grupo mo sa mRNA sequence. Dito sa frame number 1, nag-start siya dito sa first nucleotide, which is the uracil. So, yung nangyari is UCA that codes for serine, and Yung sumunod na is UJA na nagkaroon agad ng stop codon. So, ibig sabihin, na-stop agad yung polypeptide chain. So, imagine na maikli lang yung magiging polypeptide chain mo because of that stop codon kung magsisimula ka dito sa U. So, dito naman sa frame number 2, 39 na nagsimula sa letter C. So, actually, good naman siya pero something was missing. Nasaan yung ating starting codon and nasaan din yung stop codon. So, kasi kailangan natin yung starting codon and stop codon para malaman kung alin yung part na nagko-code ay yung needed ng coding sa isang polypeptide chain. And ito yung frame number 3 is yung pinakatama. So, we have here the start codons position. So, yung AUG, nakikita natin. So, it codes for methionine, which is start codon. AUC for isoleucine, UCG to serine, and it reaches UAA, which codes for a stop codon. So, the genetic code is the sequence of triplets of nucleotides codons that determines the sequence of amino acids in protein. When the genetic code has no overlapping of codons, nucleotides are not interspersed, it is said to be continuous and unpunctuated. They specify the codon. So, kung walang nag-overlap na code sa dito sa ating polypeptide or so walang nucleotides na nag-interperse, so it is said to be continuous and unpunctuated. So, like for example, tatlong codons dito, tatlong codons din dito. So, walang nauulit. So, continuous lang dapat. So, there are salient features also of the genetic code. So, each codon is a triplet basis. There are 64 codons in total, of which 61 code for amino acids, 3 for stop codons during translation. And also there is a one codon for only one amino acid. Therefore, it is specific and ambiguous. Some amino acids are coded for more than one codon. For example, the code GUU, GUC, GUA, and GUG. It all codes for the amino acid valine. Therefore, the code is degenerate. Take note also that the codons on mRNA are always read in a continuous manner without any punctuations. The genetic code is universal from bacteria to humans. The code, for example, the code UUU refers to amino acid phenylalanine. However, there are some exceptions to these rules, such as mitochondrial codons. So, ito din, the codon AUG, alam na natin to, has dual function. Nagko-code siya for amino acid methionine and at the same time, nagiging starting or initiator codon din siya.